Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Life Enhancement and Development Live. I'm Dr. Cassandra Washington, and it's indeed a pleasure to be with you this evening. And I want to share something so important to our daily living in our everyday life and experiences. I want to talk to you this evening about let it go. We in life we experience difficulties, we experience all kinds of things in our lives, joys, accomplishments, failures, health challenges, financial challenges, good relationships, bad relationships, sickness, prosperity, financial lack, financial prosperity. These things are a part of life, and we experience difficulties in life. So in these experiences we have to make decisions, and decisions that we make impact and affect our quality of life. And I want to talk to you about when to let go and when to hold on, but mainly when to let go in life, in experiences and situations in our lives, because this can affect us. Not knowing when to let go and being unwilling to let go can actually hold us back from experiencing the wonderful things that we look forward to enjoying in life. And I want to say good evening to those of you who have joined me, and I want you to engage. I want to hear from you concerning this, because I know this is an area where we all constantly experience having to let go, having to uh, give the responsibility or what's going on in a situation, give it over to God or to a greater power. So I want to talk to you about that. Life is about growing, life is about developing, life is about learning so that you can fulfill the purpose that you were put here on this earth at this particular time. So we want to talk about that. When we say what is let it go, I remember I was going through a very traumatic situation a few years ago in my life, and look, it seems like it was just so difficult for me to move past it. And I had some wonderful people in my life who were very concerned about me, and they would often say, Cassandra, you got to let it go. And I was like, what does that mean? Let it go. I would often talk about the situation because it just hurt me so badly. And I would often talk about the situation where I'd be around my friends. That's what I would talk about. Then, I would ask them their advice. What should I do? What would you do in this situation? And it went on for several months. And they said, Cassandra, you have to let it go. And I realized that, eventually let it go means stop putting your energy, stop putting your time, your emotions into this situation. It's draining you, it's pulling you down. You need to let it go. And just to talk about some examples of how we refuse to let it go. I just gave you an example of me, the situation that occurred. The situation of being hurt or being devastated, being traumatized concerning the situation. And I constantly talked about it. I wouldn't quit talking about it. I couldn't stop bringing it up, just dwelling on it all the time, giving it my time, giving it my energy, putting myself into it, so hurt that that's all I would think about throughout the day, just constantly mulling over in my mind. I was holding on to it, and I needed to let go in that particular situation. I needed to let it go. I needed to forgive, but I was holding on to it because I was expecting a payoff from it. There was something I was expecting to happen because I kept holding on to that situation. Another example of when we refuse to let something go is when we keep trying to do something our way and it's not working because we believe that this is because this is what we want to do, or because we think that this is the answer and the solution. Another way we refuse to let things go is using our own efforts to try to get something done, or get someone else to change, or get someone else to do what we want to do. And I want to tell you, when it comes to a whole human being, we have no control over another person. We have no control over another person's actions, another person's beliefs, another person decide that they want who they want to be. We have no control over that. And many times, we keep trying things, especially us women. We try, to be manipulative through tears or withholding things to get a person to do what we want them to do. But sometimes you have to let go of your ways, let go of what you think needs to be done to get the results that you want for someone else. So these were just a couple of examples of what it means, ways we refuse to let it go. And if you got some examples, Doretha, and those of you who are watching, you have some examples of what it means, how we refuse to let things go, I want you to put it in the chat and let's talk about it, of things that we do to try to make things happen our way. We refuse to let go of our ways. And so what do we need to let go of? One of the things that we need to let go of is how we thought our lives were supposed to play out. That is so important to me. I thought that at this particular time in my life, in my 20s, when I was mapping things out and what I wanted to see happen in my life at this particular time in my life, I thought there would be things. I had planned some different things. I had planned for things to be different. I thought I would have children. I never had children of my own. I wanted to have children. I thought I would, but I didn't have children. And so we have to let go of what we had planned for our lives, what we thought that things would look like. There's a scripture that I often think about, and it's in Proverbs 16, 1-3. And it says this: mortals make elaborate plans, but God has the last word. And this is the Message translation. It says, we make plans, but God has the last word. Humans are satisfied with whatever looks good, but God probes for what is good. Put God in charge of your work, then what you've planned will take place. And many times that's what we fail to do. We fail to ask God, is this what you want me to do? Is this the way that you want me to go? Is this what you have planned for me? Is this your purpose for my being here? And he's so graceful, and merciful that he will allow us to do what we want to do, and he protects us in the midst of it. But eventually, it's his plan for your life that's going to prevail. Another area where we need to let go is relationships. How you doing, Esther? Yes. God's plan is God's plan. God's plan is going to prevail. It's relationships. We fail to let go of bad relationships. One, because we think about what we've invested. We've invested time, we've invested energy, we've invested our emotions, we've invested our money, and we invested years. But when you look at, is this the best thing for me? What results am I getting? Is this beneficial for me? Then we need to evaluate those relationships. And I'm not just talking about spousal relationships or intimate relationships. I'm also talking about those people that you have around you. You have to, friends, family members, you have to evaluate those relationships and see, maybe I need to let go of this relationship, of this connection with this person. Another area that we need to let go of is our own way of solving our problems. And of course, this area is very familiar, very common to everyone: past hurts, betrayals, and broken promises. We need to be willing to let go. Let people off the hook who may have hurt us. Let people off the hook who may have betrayed us or who broken promises to us, disappointed us. That's right, Melissa. Some relationships are only for a season. And Melissa, it takes maturity to recognize that. And I'm so glad that you said that. Thank you, Esther, for your comment. It's God's plan that's going to prevail. That's right, Melissa. Some relationships are only for a season. How do you know? How can you tell when the season is up? We need to be able to tell that this person connection, or this person's presence in my life is now over, and be okay with that. Be good with that. Don't have any animosity or don't have any anger against that person. Just know that it's time to move on. And as a friend of mine often said, life coach Bernadette Hicks used to say, set them free. Set them free. Don't hold them hostage. Set them free and let them move on. So that is a very important thing to know about relationships. And when letting go of past hurts and betrayals and broken promises, it leads to unforgiveness. It leads to unforgiveness, and it blocks us and hinders us. Dorita said some people are just in your life for a season. That's right. Same thing. Melissa just said some people are not meant to be in your life forever, for the long haul. So those are some areas, that we need to consider, that where we need to let it go, let it go, and be willing to let go. So what can happen, you all, if you don't let go? What can be the consequences of trying to hold on to something, someone, some idea, some ideal that you have that is not working or that is not needed in your life? What can happen if you refuse to let it go? Uh, yes, you've outgrown the relationship. That's right, Doretha. You've outgrown the relationship. One of the things that can happen if you do not let it go, you create more problems. You compound the problem. You bring in more. You bring in toxicity. You bring in you bring in anxiety. You bring in create stress, additional stress for yourself. You create more problems for yourself if you do not let it go. If you do not let it go, or you do not let go, you create more problems for yourself. I think about in a situation like this, I think about Abraham and Sarah. And you all may be familiar with the story of Abraham when they received the promise that they were going to have a child, and it took so long for it to happen that they decided to do something about it themselves. They decided that they were going to have the child, make the child come into the family. So Sarah told Abraham to sleep with her handmaid Hagar, and a child Ishmael came forth. And guess what happened? It created problems later on down the road, because Sarah felt like Ishmael was harassing her child, and she told Abraham, "You got to put him out, put the child and the mom out." And God told Abraham, "You do what she tell you to do. You listen to her to sleep with Hagar. Now listen to her and put the handmaid and the child out." And so it caused problems that even to this day, there's friction among these two, the offsprings of these two children. So sometimes we can create problems when we don't let go of our ways, when we don't let go of what it is that we think. Melissa says holding on to what you need to let go of will cause you to miss your next that God intends for you. That's right, Melissa. That is the truth. And that's what I was going to get to. You got it, Melissa. Took me on into the next thing. Miss out on opportunities to be better and to thrive. It will keep you from progressing, keep you from promoting. If you, as she just said, if you hold on to what you need to let go of, it will cause you to miss your next. And I like that she put it in capital letters to emphasize. It will cause you to miss your next that God intends for you to have. And we don't want to miss out on great opportunities. We don't want to be the one to sabotage ourselves and delay what it is that's rightfully ours. Also, if you fail to let go or let it go, then and continue to wrestle with this thing or try to hold on to it, it will feel like you're getting nowhere. I'm thinking about when Paul said that he doesn't fight as one who beats the air. That means he's not strategizing as a person who's just getting nowhere. And when we fail to let go or let it go, it's like we're spinning our wheels. I'm thinking about when we were little girls, and I don't know if any of you all experienced this when we were young girls, and when we would get to fight, we get into a fight. I don't know why the first thing we started to do was just throwing our arms round and round in a circle like a windmill, and nobody was hitting anybody. Nobody was hitting anybody. And it was just, just expending a lot of energy, but not really accomplishing anything or getting anywhere. And sometimes that's the way we do in life. That's right. It was, Melissa, it was a windmill. It was just like a windmill. Arms just going round and round and round in the air, but nobody hitting anybody, and you're not getting anywhere, accomplishing anything. That's what happens when you're holding on to something that you really should let go of. Like Melissa and Doretha said in the beginning, they don't realize that the season is up. And when you don't realize that the season is up, then you're not getting a harvest. You're not seeing anything beneficial. That's right. Just tired for nothing, Melissa. And that's the way it is in life. Just tired. You're just spinning your wheels, and you're just tired, and you're just worn out. But so why are you sticking with, why are you sticking with it? When you know you need to let it go, when you know you need to stop, when you know you need, to quit, when you know you need to let it go and move forward. Stop putting your energy into it. Stop putting your time into it. Stop putting your emotions into it. Stop putting your money, your skills, yourself. Stop putting yourself into it. Let it go. And another thing, you can lose valuable relationships. I remember, when I opened up, I talked about how I often just talk about this problem over and over and over. And one of my friends asked me, she said, Cassandra, do you want to run all of your friends off? She said, because you keep talking about it over and over and over. And the energy and the emotion that you're expending when you're talking and when you're talking about this, it pulls, it brings sadness. And, people don't want that to be the case with you constantly when you come into their presence, because it was changing my demeanor. It was changing my attitude. I was giving off negative vibes. And she said, do you really want to continue in this path? Do you want to continue holding on to this? Because if you don't, you're going to run your friends off, your real friends. They're trying to tell you, you need to let it go. You need to let it go. And so, I had to think about that. How was I affecting the people around me? And many times we don't realize that we are having an effect on the people around us, because many times, and I say really all the time, who you are and what you have to do, there are other people connected to you. And when you are stagnated, or you fail to grow, or you fail to move forward, whoever is connected to you, it could be your immediate family members, it could be somebody, on your job, it could be your community, it could be people that God has assigned to you, and you're refusing, to move forward, to grow. And we all experience hard times. We all experience sad times, or betrayal, or things that don't feel good to us, or challenges. But we have to grow. We have to develop. We need to ask ourselves, okay, what is it that I'm supposed to get from this? What is it that I'm supposed to learn from this? And be willing to take the lesson and move forward. And sometimes we can even lose our wealth, lose ourselves in the midst of holding on to something, someone, or something that really is not beneficial to us. It can cause your quality of life to go into a downward spiral. And I remember that happening to me. I got to the point that it started affecting my health. And one day I just started throwing up. I was just throwing up because I had just gotten so sick, and I believe I had developed ulcers when I was telling the nurse, of a friend of mine who was a nurse, what was happening and what it looked. She said, Cassandra, it seems to me from what you're describing, that you're throwing up dried blood. And you're probably developing an ulcer. And I will say to you that whatever it is that's causing you this stress, you need to let it go. And I said then, God, if you would just help me move forward from this. I'm making myself sick. But I believe with your help, I can let it go. And eventually I did. And, that stopped. That was the first and last time that I experienced that kind of sickness. So it can affect your health. It can affect your physical body by holding on to things that are not good for you mentally, physically, emotionally. We have to learn how to not say, this is enough. I'm not putting any more energy into this. I'm not going to put any more of my time into this. I'm not going to give of myself to this anymore. It is time to let it go. And so how do you get to a place of letting go? That's a good question, you all. How do you get to a place of letting go? First, you must be aware that you are holding on to the wrong thing. First, you must be aware. You must come to yourself. You must see that you need to let this go. You must first be aware that this is not working. This is not good for me. This is not beneficial for me. And you have to realize that I am responsible because I am the one who's refusing to make the decision to do something different. We say, oh, it's because they're doing this, and it's because I'm here, or I'm living here, or because I'm in this situation, or I'm living in this house, or I'm living in this city, or I'm in this place. The reason why I can't move forward. No, it all starts with you being aware that you have the ability to make a decision. You have the ability to make a decision, and it starts with you being aware and being willing to make the decision. Make sure that you are not allowing your emotions to lead you. There are times when we know what we need to do. We know we need to let it go. We know we need to let go, but we have emotional ties to the payoff. There's something, if you're still sticking with it, if you're still in it and you know it's time to let it go, and you should, but you're making the decision to stay there, that's a payoff in it for you. It may not be good, but it's something that you like about it. The reason why you're still holding on to it and you refusing to let it go. Sometimes we like to hold on to unforgiveness because we love to talk about the person. We want to talk about the person, and then we want to talk about them and want somebody else to feel the same way we do about it. But that's not always the other person's experience with that person. Do you know, you do know that two people can know the same person and have a different experience with that person. So sometimes we want to hold on to it. We want to talk about the person and talk about what they did because we want someone else to have the same feeling and the same reaction that we do about that person. And that's wrong. That's wrong because everybody don't have the same experience with an individual. So we have to be willing to not to allow our emotions to lead us, but we have to think about what is the right thing to do. Separate your emotions from what you know is right. And then you must decide that you are ready to submit to God, what God wants for you. You have to make a decision that, okay, I want to go in the direction that God wants me to go in. I want to do what He wants me to do. And to do that, you have to humble yourself. You have to know, look, I'm not that smart. I'm not that smart. I don't know what to do with me. I don't know what to do with me. God knows what to do with me. And so you have to submit yourself to Him and humble yourself and tell Him, okay, I've gotten in this relationship and I know I shouldn't have, but I want to get out. I've made a decision that I want to get out. Or I started this business, or I'm in this business and this is the way that I've been doing it. Let me ask you, is this what you want me to do? I'm living here in this city, but I believe that you're telling me to go somewhere else. I'm going to go where you want me to go. You're calling me to do a certain thing. It's not what I want to do, but to please you, I'm going to submit to what you want. I love something that Oprah Winfrey said the other day. I was listening to an interview that she was doing with someone, and they asked her about her life and following God's plan. She said, and her dreams. She said, you know what I decided to do? She said, I decided to stop dreaming and let God dream for me. And whatever His dream is for me, then I'm going to go along with His dream for me and do what He wants me to do. I thought that was so awesome. Go along with, let Him dream for you. Don't you know He can dream bigger than you? Whatever it is that you think you can dream and imagine for yourself, He magnifies it. He magnifies it. He has something so much greater. But we have to be willing to let go, as Melissa said earlier, so that we can get to our next. So that we can get to our next. So you have to you have to humble yourself and submit yourself to him and ask him, what is it that you want me to do? I'm willing to let go of my plans, what it is that I think should happen with my life, and I'm willing to submit to whatever it is that you say and what you want. Don't do anything without him leading you and telling you what to do. You can try all kinds of things, but is that what you need to do? You're spinning your wheels. Got to let go of your own thinking, let go of your own ideas and your own self. Don't be so arrogant to think that you know what to do. This is one thing that I say all the time where I am in my life. I cannot do anything on my own. I don't know what to do with me. He knows what to do with me. So I'm going to seek the one who knows what to do with me and who made me and created me. That's right, Doretha. Don't waste your time and energy on negativity. That is exactly right. And so, in order to know what it is that he wants to do, you got to get in a place of stillness. You must be in a place of stillness so that you can hear and listen. Why did I say hear and listen? So that you'll be able to recognize and be aware of what he's saying and then listen by doing what he says. That's why I say hear and listen. You need to be aware and understand that it is he. He is the one that's telling you what to do. And then you have to be willing to take action and do what he tells you to do. That's right, Janice. Trust God and listen to his voice. Sometimes we won't let go because it's a comfortable place. Oh my God. And you know what, Janice and Melissa, we can hear him telling us what to do. And then, Melissa, we don't want to do it because it causes us to get out of our comfort zone. And it's easier to stay than to move forward or to come out of that comfort zone. And that's right, Janice. That's where the trust comes in. That's where the trust comes in. And that's what I was about to say. It takes strength, courage, faith, and trust to let go. You got to trust that he knows what's best for you. You must be willing to give yourself over to him, give yourself over to someone else, and that is God who's greater for you. And that's what First Peter 5:6-7 means. When it says, cast all your cares upon him, for he cares for you. And I like the way the Message Bible says, so be content with who you are and don't put on airs. God's strong hand is on you. He'll promote you at the right time. Live carefree before God. He is most careful with you. He is most careful with you. He's thinking about you, everything that concerns you, everything that's about you, everything that pertains to your life. He cares about you. The final thing I want to say that you must do is decide that it's okay to start again. I didn't say start over because you may not have to start over. You may just have to start again. Start again with something new. And I want to tell you this. I want to remind you of this, of what God says. And you say, she keeps on talking about God. She keeps on quoting these scriptures. Well, this organization, this is it's based upon biblical principles. What we teach, what we encourage, what we provide is based upon biblical principles. And so it says, decide that it's okay to start again. And this is why I say decide, make a decision. It's okay. It's okay to start again. That's right, Janice. Janice said she was there 2 years ago, comfortable in the midst of her discomfort. Comfortable in the midst of discomfort. It takes courage and faith to move forward. And this is what God was telling the children of Israel. He said, you can start again. It's all right to be uncomfortable. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Because with him, you got to be ready. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And so he told them, he said, I'm going to do a new thing in you. Forget about what's happened. Let it go. Don't keep going over old history. Be alert, be present. I'm about to do something brand new. It's bursting out. Don't you see it? There it is. I'm making a road through the desert, rivers through the badlands. So he's saying to his people, and those of us who are believers, who love God, who trust God, life happens to us just like everybody else. Life happens to us. But the good thing about it is that we have him. And I want to let you know it's all right if you have to start again. Get uncomfortable with get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Just like Janice says, sometimes we can get comfortable with the discomfort. And it doesn't have to. Sometimes things come in our life where there is discomfort and you have to go through it, but he wants you to go through it. It's not his intention for you to stay there. It's not his intention for you to stay there. And if you are in a place of challenges, in a place of testing, in a place of obstacles, things coming against you, then sometimes those things happen in life. But you're supposed, as I said in the beginning, it's to help you grow. It's to help you learn. He wants us to have a joyful life, an abundant life, and so it's okay if you have to start again. He says, I want to do a new thing in you. I'm going to do a brand new thing in you. And even in this passage, he talked about how even the animals around were going to be so glad when these people came forth, when this new thing began to cultivate and manifest in their life. And don't you know, there's somebody waiting on you to come forth. Somebody was waiting on you to be this great and to be this wonderful person that you are, and for it to be manifest. But what is it that you're holding on to that's holding you back, that's keeping you from coming forth? Yes, Jamie, trials are a learning experience. And so those things are to make us better. Those things are to make us better. But God does not want us to stay in a place of being down, of being out. He has great things for us. You have to be willing to make the adjustment. You have to be willing to let go. You have to be willing to let it go. You have to be willing to be transformed. You have to be willing to be changed, to make a change. Don't be afraid. As I said, and as Janice mentioned this too, it takes courage. It takes faith. But do you want your next? How bad do you want your next? Is what you holding on to worth it? Is it worth it? How bad do you want your next? If you are ready for your brand new life, and a lot of people saying, I'm not going into 2024 with what I went into with what I had in 2023. When 2024 comes, it's going to be a new. Why you got to wait? Start today. Start today. Don't wait till January 1st, 2024. Have it already, be ready to have it already done. Make your decision now. Make your decision today that I'm going to, whatever it takes, whatever I have to change, whatever I have to let go of. I'm going to tell you something. Unforgiveness. If it's someone or anything, someone that you're holding something against, let it go. Because I'm telling you, that is something that can affect your physical body, affect your mind, affect your surroundings, your environment, because it changes you as a person. It pulls on you and it draws from you mentally, physically, and emotionally. And it's best that you let it go. Sometimes we're waiting for an apology. We're waiting for somebody to change. You look at yourself. What is it that you need? All right, Doretha, I like that. Give new birth to a brand new beginning. All right, Doretha, that's what I'm talking about. Give new birth to a brand new beginning. It's all right to start again. It's all right to start again. So I want to encourage you, starting today, tonight, evaluate, what is it that I need to let go? What is it that I need to let go of? Who is it that I need to let go of? Because there is Great, there are great things on the horizon for you, but it's all in your hands. As I said earlier, don't look at the other person. This person is holding me back. That person is doing that to me, and the reason I can't. No, it's you. You're in control. It starts with a decision. It starts with a decision. Good evening, Devon. Yes, good evening. Melissa says forgiveness is not for the other person, but it gives you freedom. Yes, can you say freedom? Yes, Lord. It gives you freedom. It gives you freedom. So isn't that what you want? What quality of life do you want? You are in control of that. You are in control of that, and it starts with a decision. So this have been wonderful. I love the engagement. I love the discussion, the things that you all have said. Let's be willing to do what it takes to take hold of the opportunities that are being made available to us. As Melissa said, to be able to take hold of that next. As Janice said, let's not get comfortable in discomfort. Let's not get comfortable with that, because there's some joy for you. There's some good things for you. He wants to give you good things. Are you willing to do what it takes to get there? Are you willing to let go of what it is that you need to let go of to get there? Even your ways. Let go of your ways. I don't care if it is mama taught you or daddy taught you, or you let go of your ways that are not in line or aligned with what's right, with what is good. That's right, Doretha. Start with the one in the mirror. So I want to encourage you all to be willing to make that judgment, make the change, let go of whatever it is you need to let go of so that you can go forward in your next. Thank you for putting that in the chat, Melissa. Go forward, let go so that you can move forward to your next. Well, I want to thank you all for joining me this evening. This has been wonderful. I enjoyed it. And let me just speak a word over you. The best is yet to come. And I declare and decree by the power that God has given me, that anything that's in you, around you, outside of you, or wherever it is, that's holding you back, will drop off and detach, and that God will give you the discernment and the awareness and the insight to see those things that are hindering you, and that you will have the courage, the boldness, and the trust in God to be willing to do whatever it takes to move forward to your next. Opportunities are all around you, and I believe that you're going to seize every opportunity and that you're going to do great things. God bless you, and you all have a wonderful, wonderful evening.